Wankhede, India in form. Sachin Tendulkar and Muttiah Murali doing some random stuff with having their hands out and let's turn this stadium blue, whereas already the stadium was blue. Uh, uh, Punching on some buzzer in the middle of the ground while it's drinks break. BCCI manages to make it a little comical all the time, whatever it might be. So yeah, as comical as the on-field play. Welcome to the morning after with my guy Rakimul Haq as always. So, in an overall picture, what's your impression of this game?
They were trying to make it reflective of the 2011 final in Wankhede between these two sides, but it was anything but at this
Yeah,
point. I mean,
yeah,
India have excelled in every department throughout this tournament, and Sri Lanka, look, there's this odd bad day in the office, but what happened today, it's hard to sum it up. It's inexcusable. And I know the one thing they can do is they can say that, okay, this is a completely abysmal performance, which even if we want to, we can't repeat on the next day. So that's fine. But in the overall context of the tournament, I think the fans will be very disappointed because this will leave a bitter taste in the mouth. Like I said, I think they'll play significantly better than what they did today in the next two matches. But unfortunately, this is one of the takeaways they will have to accept from this tournament. And for a very long time, they will remember it.
yeah. I think especially because that's twice now in two games against India that they've been wrapped for like 50 and 55. So obviously, in the greater context of things, like you said, it leaves a bad taste. In the greater scheme of things, if we're talking about the World Cup as a whole, they've lost by 302 runs. Didn't hurt their net run rate at all, because we were talking off air about them scoring 300 plus in their first two games, and the opposition still managed to knock it off. So it's kind of gotten balanced out here with this loss. So India, if we want to start with their batting, 357 for 8. Shubman Gill 92, Virat Kohli 88, Shreyas Iyer 82. Particularly Shreyas Iyer, there wasn't a short ball tactic today. Did you find that weird, given how he's been out recently in the last few games?
Absolutely weird. I think Chamira could have been brave enough to try because the problem is both Madhushanka and Rajita rely a lot on their fuller length deliveries. Rajita does
Yeah,
on occasion mix it up, but yeah, this particular Sri Lankan pace attack, they do rely a lot more on the fuller length deliveries, on the swing that they can extract
right.
rather than the bounce. But
Yeah.
just for this particular batter, knowing that he struggles, they should have definitely tried something along that strategy. And overall, I think one of the best things about this, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer performance was no one, it didn't feel like anyone was playing for a milestone today.
No.
We've
Yeah.
spoken about it
Yeah. Yeah.
extensively,
Yeah.
especially earlier in the tournament. And that felt good. That felt refreshing. They were just playing for the team. They were playing each ball to its merit. And if they
Yeah.
get out, they get out. It's fine. They're
Yeah.
not going to lower the tempo. They're not going to change anything about their approach. And that was
No.
probably the best thing that got India that score today.
Yeah. No. Especially, I think that's a very key point you've touched, because it looks so stupid when you're just trying to go for like milestones and stuff. And like, yeah, sure, it might be a home game, it might be a World Cup, and whatever it is, but especially Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, amazing partnership. Lost Rohit Sharma early, but both of them just clinical, and probably two of their really mature innings, which didn't convert to 100, but they both look really good.
And Shreyas, I'm sorry, not Shreyas, Shubman Gill, he needed an innings like this. He needed an innings where Rohit fails and he steps up. Because Rohit is,
He had
as
a bit of
always, he's
motivation in the
amazing in
crowd
World
today.
Cups.
Had a bit of motivation in the crowd, Shubman Gill.
He had that in the earlier games as well. Oh, he always has that.
He's always
But I
got
guess
that.
it's more special in Wankhede.
Yeah, yeah, it makes a
Who
difference.
knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, Wankade's very own son-in-law.
Yeah. So, Virat Kohli, Dream World Cup for him. What do you take on it?
He has spoken about Sri Lanka, not recently, this was quite a few years ago, about Sri Lanka being his favorite opponent to face, and
Yeah.
today was no different.
Well, they play all these warm-up matches against Sri Lanka like every 6 months for a 3-month series. So you would expect them to like facing Sri Lanka.
Yeah, but by the same regard, you would expect
But
Sri Lanka to
Bangladesh,
do better as well,
yeah,
which isn't
yeah,
happening,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. No, I think if you look at it, this Sri Lankan bowling lineup has bowled to the same Indian batters time and time again. Like we're joking about it being like they're playing warm-up series as every 6 months or so, but these are the same the batters haven't changed. So, and a lot of these bowlers are similar to what it was. So why is Dilshan Madhushanka able to get a good fifer? He's actually gotten a good fifer. It's not that he's gotten lucky with his wickets or anything. He actually bowled really well. Now top of the charts with 18 wickets. Um, why are others not able to give him that support? And Tikshana just looks off color completely.
One of the factors is Chamira is still coming from an injury. So
Yeah,
was Lahiru Kumara. And Lahiru Kumara, unfortunately, he's never been that exceptionally good against the top tier sides. So
yeah,
that's always held him back, that record.
yeah,
So both him and Chamira coming from injuries. Rajita, I think Rajita was sort of out of the scene for a while
yeah,
before all these other injuries sort of forced him back in. So
yeah.
that's never easy. And one of the things I think what we're seeing with the Sri Lankan conditions recently, they're not favoring seamers at all.
No,
And that's a
no,
big problem.
yeah, yeah.
We know this problem better than anyone else,
No, and especially if
unfortunately.
your steamers are going what they've gone 8, 7.1, and 7.22. Never good. Especially at a ground like Wankhede where your spinners might go around a little. So you really need your seamers to really hold that one side up. But it seems like their spinners did better in terms of figures than the spinners did than the seamers.
It never helps when the home tracks get so slow that the pacers don't get much of anything out of them and only the
Yeah,
spinners do.
yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem when you're traveling abroad. You don't get the same facilities in terms of conditions. And
Conditions. Yeah, you can't carry
again,
it
who
from
would know
home.
better than a Bangladesh fan?
Yeah, yeah. You can't pick it up and take it to an overseas ground. It doesn't work like that. They're feeling the pressure of not having one in the Hasaranga. Is that a right way to put it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's unfortunate that they don't really have that second spinner. But the problem with Thikshana is you take Thikshana out of the new ball attack, and he's not as effective, especially
No,
not in these conditions.
no.
Which again, he would be disappointed because he's played quite a few matches in the last couple of seasons of the IPL here in India.
Yeah,
So it doesn't really make all that much sense to say that no, when the conditions aren't completely spin friendly, he's not going to get anything out of the wicket. He has played in these conditions when the batters are constantly looking to attack. And
yeah.
over there, he sort of found his zone. And I know T20s and ODIs are very different still,
But
but you expect him to do better. At the very least, he could hold one end up, which he's failing to do.
yeah, no, 100%. And you have Dushan Hemanta, who's extremely underexperienced. He's extremely inexperienced, and so for your senior pro to not hold it up, not show him the way, it becomes really difficult. And obviously, Dunitwila Lage had a really good game the last time they played, but he's not even here this time around, right? So he's not playing this game. Sri Lanka's
And
batting
one
just
small thing,
yeah,
I think it's also, I could be wrong about this, but it's also difficult for a mystery spinner to play that lead role.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
They can bowl in tandem with other mystery spinners, like we see with Sunil Narayan and Chakravarti,
Chakravarti,
or
yeah,
they can play with someone experienced, like we saw with Sunil Narayan and Shakib Al Hasan.
yeah,
But it's very different for a mystery spinner like Ajanta Mendes before that. Like Ajanta Mendes used to bowl with Mutia Muralidharan. That's when he was at his best, when he had the
yeah. When
senior
she
pro at the other end.
Yeah, yeah.
So it becomes
Because
difficult for
they
mystery spinners to
create
play
that
that lead
pressure,
role.
right? They create that pressure. And especially as Tikshana found out when he first came onto the scene, is that he always had Hasaranga. He always had that support. Now he's having to step up and it's turning out difficult. One can hope that it doesn't turn out like Ajanta Mendes for him, which will be tough because It's it's a very similar bowling action. It's a very similar gather. It's a very similar bag of tricks. And if you don't have a particular type of support and the wickets start to dry up, the confidence tries to dry up. He looked really good with the bat, but his end of the day, his role's not with the bat, right? So talking about batting, yeah, just yikes. It looked almost men against boys kind of a situation in front of that Indian pace attack.
Terrifying. I was literally like, it was one of those, blink and you miss kind of situation. Like every
Yeah,
time I looked away, there was another wicket lost.
yeah.
And I think the funniest part was at one point, like I stopped watching to do some other stuff. And at one point, I checked the scorecard. It was 23 for 6. And then I reloaded. It's 22 for 7. How do you lose a run?
How do you lose a run? How does it happen?
And and then I checked that it was a smart decision by KL Rahul to opt for a review when
Yeah,
he heard a nick and the umpire gave it a wide. Like, that's like
yeah, yeah,
everything going wrong for you.
yeah,
In
yeah.
these situations, no one listens to the keeper usually. They're like, no, the keeper is just being too optimistic. We don't need to review. But
Right,
Rohit Sharma had nothing to lose at that point. And obviously,
right.
he's going to listen to someone as experienced as KL Rahul. And here you go. You have a wicket.
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, India just looked like they meant business, especially with the ball. Um, did you have any inkling, little bit of feeling that Sri Lanka might give the chase a little bit of go, given their batting form, or was it always gonna be this way?
They 100% should have. As you
Yeah,
said, they are in very good batting form where one or the other batter steps up. And usually they're far not one. I want to say that in each match they're sort of getting a partnership. They're getting two
two
batters
batters. Yeah,
in pretty much every game to
yeah,
step up and give them that partnership, at least
yeah,
one partnership every game. So
yeah,
they have that confidence going for them. They have the likes of Angelo Matthews just to fall back on in case things go wrong. So on a good batting surface in Mumbai. Mumbai is always going to produce good batting surfaces in any
yeah,
format.
yeah,
It's so unexpected of them. I know how good the Indian bowling attack is,
yeah,
but against the same bowling attack, when you find yourself in a similar problem in Colombo, you would think that a team would, sort of be prepared for that this time. It was Siraj with the new ball then, it's
yeah.
Siraj with the new ball now. It's
Now, yeah,
Shami coming in with the 5 wickets again. I know these are very good bowlers, but once you face the same situation in Colombo a few
you
weeks
have to be
ago, you
ready
should
for
be
it.
better
Yeah,
prepared.
100%. And I think that's one of the things we've talked about is a lot of these teams have played each other as recently as 4 weeks ago, in the Asia Cup. So for you to not even come close to competing in the matches against these guys, against these similar oppositions, really doesn't cut it in modern day cricket because the turnover rate is so high as for games. If you're not adjusting to what the other team has planned for you, it's very similar. The dismissals are very similar. Bolds, missing the line, in swing, out swing, just not there, technically not looking solid, and obviously very tentative. And one of those things brings me to the question is India's bowling, obviously, like you mentioned, the pace attack is in really good form. Who gets dropped when Hardik Pandya comes?
Is Hardik Pandya coming? What's the status on his
I think
fitness?
the whole situation is they're hoping to have him fit for that last group game. If he is able to play that last group game heading into the playoffs, that's what they're thinking about. So I think they will obviously want to give him a game before they head into playoffs. You don't want to mess around with tactics at that time. So where does Hardik slot in, and whose place do you take? No impact player in the international cricket.
Do you dare to just do the switch between Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik
Hardik,
Pandya and say, no, we're still going to go with seven batters and sorry, not seven batters anymore. It's technically going to be five
yeah,
batters,
five
two
as the
all-rounders,
yeah,
and four bowlers.
but then
It's
that
it's
goes
going to be a
around.
very tough ask
Yeah,
of Hardik Pandya and Ravindra Jadeja to have to step up and bat with the tail in almost every
every game.
game.
Yeah, and that goes against the notion that India set at the start of the World Cup, where they wanted a batting heavy squad until the end. And if you have Shami batting at 8, then it starts. then in a playoffs game, anything can happen. You lose a few early, you lose a bit of pressure, things get. But I guess the last thing in for here is
Also, a small thing,
yeah,
seeing Shami today, like I know Shami can bat. He's had a couple of good innings here and there, but he looked so helpless, and I'm starting to
yeah,
wonder why Kuldeep Yadav is not batting at 8.
yeah. I know,
We've
I
seen
know.
Kuldeep do
Yeah,
that.
Kuldeep's done much better, and he actually has the ability to swing it around a little bit and get a few quick runs. So
And
I
nudge
think
it around for singles when you're batting with someone
right,
like Jadeja on the other
yeah,
end. I
yeah.
don't know why they're
I
not
think they
promoting
might be
him.
missing the trick there. And do you still play Surya Kumar Yadav the next game, or is it time to give Ishan Kishan a go?
I don't think bringing Ishan Kishan in place of Surya Kumar Yadav serves much of a purpose, but I am disappointed that Surya Kumar Yadav couldn't capitalize today. This was the ideal
Ideal
scenario for him,
situation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
tailor-made for him, and he couldn't
yeah,
capitalize, which he should be very disappointed.
yeah.
Not saying this is a Mumbai Indians fan, I just happen to be wearing the jersey.
No conflict of
And
interest there. Yeah.
it's funny because the Mumbai boys, Rohit and Surya Kumar
Surya
Yadav, had
Kumar
a
both.
disappointing day today.
Yeah, yeah,
So that considered, all that considered, Surya would be disappointed. But again, I don't think switching him out for Ishan Kishan really brings much to the table. It doesn't even solve the problem with the batting depth.
yeah.
But it doesn't hurt to try either. So might as well give it a shot.
So I guess to finish off, we're near the end here. Where to now for Sri Lanka with 4 points? Not a very healthy run rate. Last two games, what are they looking to finish with?
Secure the Champions Trophy spot.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what you're
I
playing
would
for
say.
at this point. I think it's a good thing if Pakistan start winning, or these teams which are trying to secure their spots, in a way, it's a good thing for them. Because
Yeah,
otherwise, let's say Pakistan fall down to 9 and you come up to 8, it doesn't do you
it
any
doesn't do
favors.
any favor because Pakistan goes in. Yeah, exactly. So
So
as long as Pakistan's winning and there's a few results going your way, you'll be happy. Um,
still in the top 7, try and secure
secure. Yeah,
anything within that,
yeah,
and you're good for now. I think
yeah.
that's a win for
That's the
now.
main goal, I guess, at the end here, because well, we got Afghanistan versus Netherlands tomorrow. Both teams still eyeing a fourth place position. They will need some results to go their way. So, but it hopes that we have hopes that it will be an interesting game. Hopefully. So till then, keep watching Bagrat. Subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever it is you gotta do. Get our content out there. And thank you for supporting.